Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Night Court Narrative, the podcast of all things bookish. Today we are doing A Court of Wings and Ruin, the final part. Get ready for like massive tears. Aqua's currently dying as we speak. It's fine, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god, that hurt. Hi, I'm Aqua, slowly dying.
I'm
Official
Elvish.
cringe.
He
I just had a spicy shrimp cocktail and some of the juice. What's down the wrong pipe?
It's fine. We're fine.
We're fine. I'm already tearing up from the spice, but it's great. Tastes great. Oh,
Okay, we're good.
we're giving you all the raw hiccups.
Literally.
Without a doubt.
Like, I know some people are gonna be like, well, why didn't you just wait to record it? I mean, like, there's no
We're here
telling
to
how long this was gonna
provide-
take.
Exactly. We're here to provide the experience, all right? We don't let nothing hold us back. Oh, fuck. Nothing will hold us back. Oh god, it's hard to speak when you have like juice like stuck in the back of your throat.
I'm actually dying right now.
Hey, only one of us can die, and it's my
Oh my
turn.
god.
Turn. God. Oh my god.
Alright. Oh, god.
I'm at
alright.
Prop 2, so content warning right now. Bodily sounds. Best of luck. You'll be
ASMR.
fine. ASMR. See, this is what provide here in this podcast. We don't hold it back. You know, if we got the hiccups, I'm not gonna mute myself. Nothing like that. No. We're here for the raw experience here. No matter how much it hurts. Ow. Anyways, I was just mentioning to Elvish that when I was rereading the book for this one, I'm trying to talk through it. Oh god, it's hard.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Oh my god, we barely just started the podcast. We're already struggling. What's funny is that I'm choked up now, and you're gonna be choked up later. Oh
Okay.
god.
You were telling me before we started.
Yes, that when I was re-listening, to the book, when I was reading the book through the audio, yes, I know what I said. I found something that I think we both somehow missed, even with rereading it. And okay, once we get to that part, oh god, that's a burp. Once we get to that part, you're gonna hear me be like, gasp, okay?
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
That'll
so
be my
sorry.
tell. It's
I'm
fine.
so
it's
sorry.
fine. It's fine. I'm just dying. I'm going to gasp when we get to the point where it's relevant, okay?
Okay.
Because I am so ready.
I'm crying.
Only one of us could die. Only one of us could die. It is my turn, okay? So next episode, you can be the one that's dying, okay? It's my time. Oh god, it is really difficult.
You sounded like Jack Sparrow. You sounded like Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh, that'd be great. Alright, matey, yo. Oh god.
I'm crying. I'm
see,
actually
the
crying.
The worst part is the
Oh,
more I keep breathing, like oxygen mixing with the spice just makes it worse. Oh god.
Oh my god, okay. I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna start.
Yes, just go, just go.
We're never gonna start if we don't start now.
I know, but I'm not muting myself. I'm here to give it the raw. It's a raw podcast here.
Oh my god. All
Which I'll
right.
do my hold my breath thing. Oh.
Oh. So just to start for context for everyone, we kind of stopped in a very unusual spot in the last podcast. This book, as we mentioned, if you have read it, you know that the very beginning of the book is mainly all information, when the ending of the book is all death, despair, and what the fuck am I listening to, if you know.
The
So,
best part.
no, absolutely. So, we ended up getting through the beginning. We decided to stop right at death and despair. So,
It's
where
just like
we
a normal book talk.
no, right. So where we are
Okay.
currently, we are now all winnowing to Adriata, where the summer court is being fully run down by King of Hybern and his soldiers. As soon as they get there, Moore and Feyre head to the palace to fight. As they begin fighting, they save as many as they could. Feyre then goes into Rhysand's mind and sees through his eyes that the King of Hybern himself has arrived. That is where we are currently.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Spoiler warning, by the way. We get all spoilers in this book. So.
Oh yeah, so many spoilers.
We typically stay within the book only, but sometimes we will jump to, future books and of course previous books to kind of get to our points. So
yeah,
just a disclaimer out there for those who be like, actually, I even tried to hold that one in because that one would hurt. Anyways, so for those glasses pushers up there, there's your warning.
Also for those who have been watching since the beginning, the two theories that I mentioned the very, very first episode on, we finally get to discuss them this time around. So I'm really excited to see what you guys think about them too.
I have been waiting patiently.
Oh my goodness. So at this point, like I mentioned, Feyre sees through Rhysand's eyes and sees that the King of Hybern himself has arrived. Rhysand sort of figures out that this was a trap. The King of Hybern was trying to see what High Lord was going to show up first. Unfortunately, it had to be Rhysand. They start attacking, all that good stuff, and we find out that he was only an illusion. So.
Talk about holograms.
Oh yeah. Tarquin confesses that he thought the Night Court was there to help Hybern. Mentions how he heard what Feyre did to Tamlin in the Spring Court, and he orders them to leave. I find that so very interesting because, I mean, even at this point in the book, we don't really know much about the other courts and the allies that they hold. But from the looks of it, throughout ACOTAR and throughout even Mist and Fury, it doesn't really look like Tamlin has much of an ally source from anywhere in Prythian, for that matter.
I think further on, still have juice stuck. Further on, I think the only people who would be considered an ally for Tonka Truck would be the Autumn Court guy, Baron.
I mean, kind of not really though.
Well, I mean, okay, if you think of it this way, I think Tom and Baron are the only two people who would kind of be willing to deal with each other,
Yeah, I can see that.
I think the only reason why Baron would deal with Tampon is only because of the fact Lucian's with him.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
That's how I see it. Because it's the only connection. Of course, Baron wants to inflict this much, damage to Lucian, to our boy. So,
Which I
at
have
least that's how I see it.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I just, up until this point, I don't really see Tamlin really having too many allies. So that's kind of hard for me to believe that Tarquin. But then again, Tarquin is that type of person where he is I guess, Switzerland, he's cool with everyone, if that makes sense. So I do agree with that.
I kind of agree with that. I think it's a minor Switzerland, but I think true Switzerland would probably be Daycourt or Dawncourt. The guy, Dawncourt.
Not necessarily. Okay, we'll put a pin in this. 2 seconds. Put a pin. Okay. Because literally, the next thing I say is gonna bring that conversation back up. So then, moving along, Nesta finally agrees to share her story with the High Lords at the meeting. They were trying to get her, if you remember, to talk about what happened within the cauldron, what she saw, what she witnessed, all that good stuff. She, of course, did not want to do that because of the amount of trauma that went on inside. I know we mentioned it last time, but she was only in there for about 10 to 15 seconds, maybe. but to
Mhm.
her it felt like a lifetime. So there was a lot that went on there.
Yeah.
And Rhysand offers Nesta the emissary job, says she'll consider it. Everyone arrives for the meeting now. Everyone is still unsure if Tamlin is gonna show up.
Can go up. Mm-hmm.
The only other bit of information right now is that Feyre is now meeting all of the High Lords. She meets Helion, Day Court. She meets Callias and his wife Vivian of the Winter Court. I think she meets Thessian from the Dawn Court, and in windows, Tamlin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, the one that I thought was more of like Switzerland would be Dawncourt.
You didn't hear what I just said. It's funny.
Oh yeah, Windows in Tamlin.
Right. We had a whole conversation last video on how we didn't think Tamlin could winnow.
Wait. Oh shit.
Okay,
Wait.
so
Oh wait, hold on. If he's able to do it this entire
right.
Hold up.
So in Akatar, the following people, the only people in the entire Akatar series are able to winnow. Dagdon, Eris, Feyre, Lucian, Morgan, Rhysand, Rhysand's father, Tamlin, Tarquin, I mean, literally all the High Lords, and the Mortal Queens.
I feel like I am missing a massive puzzle piece right now.
Right. So when I went back and I reread this book and it mentioned how he winnowed in, this is the first time in the series, in my personal opinion, and this is us reading and listening to it twice. This is the first time I've ever heard him, Lucian, or Eris, or whatever, winnow in.
The only time I remember Lucian winnowing was when Feyre. Oh no, because I don't think he winnowed that time. When Pharaoh just got done killing Hybern's relatives, the twins,
He was already there with them.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Because they got hit with the Ashburn poison, or with the ash blossom, whatever, the ash thingy. I
Ash
can't
arrow?
think. No.
The ash, the firebane?
The Faebane.
Faebane, thank God.
Yes, the Faebane.
Yes.
When they put it into their food and drink, and slowly poison them. I don't think he tried to. I think he did try to winnow then. I think that was the only time. God, Lucian.
The only other one that is actually able to winnow, but I don't think it's considered winnowing, is Azrael. He's able to teleport from different areas only because of his ability as Shadow Singer.
So it's kind of like a mix of both in a way,
right?
Sort of.
So it's winnowing, but it's not actually winnowing. So technically, Azrael can and cannot winnow.
Yeah, because he goes to the shadow. Like, he does a type of winnow, but one that's only granted by his shadow singing.
Exactly.
His shadow. Ah.
Right.
I did not pay attention that Toyota Corolla was able to winnow.
Until this point in the book, let me rephrase. At this point until the series, I didn't even hear or even catch or whatever that he could winnow.
Yeah, me neither. I'm literally like jaw dropped right now.
Right.
I think it kind of cured my hiccups as I did hiccup a second ago.
But luckily, we are at one of the first big parts of the book, and this is the High Lord meeting. If you know, you know. Sit back, drop in.
Get the popcorn.
It's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
All right, so, oh my God. So all 7 High Lords, including, I guess, Feyre, so 8, and Thessian has a few people with him. Callias has his wife. I think High Lady, not only High Lady of Winter came by because High Lady of Autumn didn't show up. But everyone is here to discuss the war with Hybern. They're going to discuss whether or not they are allies and who is going to fight with whom in the war.
Yeah. Basically, who's picking what side?
Pretty much. Because at this point, I believe, it doesn't actually say, but I believe we're about 2 weeks, maybe not even, until war actually happens. So the war is literally knocking on the door at this point.
Yeah, I mean, for them, they were thinking it'd be much longer, but of course, Hybern being sneaky and evil, they were a lot quicker about it.
Right. Most of the drama, I guess, comes from Tamlin's side. He is very salty over everything that happens.
Salty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take your pick.
Basically, he takes everything out on both Feyre and Rhysand. He blames Rhysand for making him He blames Rhysand for having him make a deal with Hybern, which, first of all, that makes zero sense. He says if he didn't steal Feyre away, he wouldn't have gone through such desperate measures to get her back. But you were already on Hybern's side from the very beginning. So even if you had Feyre, lost Feyre, like, even if Feyre was never even, like, in Prythian to begin with, you were still gonna side with Feyre, or with, Hybern. So I don't understand where this whole Rhysand, you made me do it. Like, it's not like he's over there twisting his arm, making him side with Hybern.
Yeah. And to add on to that, I think even further on, it did say that he was already, like, in communication with Hybern because, well, for one, when he did have Feyre and the whole bond thing, the deal that they made, the bargain, he was already going towards Hybern to find a way to break the bond.
Right, exactly.
At the very beginning of the relationship.
Exactly. So at least we know for a fact, like, hard-written fact, that at the beginning of Akatar, Under the Mountain, he was already in cahoots with Hybern. We already knew that. So having him sit here and say that it is Rhysand's fault is so overly disgusting. But I mainly think he's doing that because if you guys remember, all the way up until this point, Rhysand has been hiding behind a mask. Everyone in Prythian, along with the High Lords, High Fae, whatever, they consider Rhysand this horrible, horrible monster, even though, I mean, in actuality, he isn't. So I'm pretty sure this is kind of like Tamlin's way of saying, look what he did, kind of like poke the bear, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And kind of using his reputation against him as well.
Exactly.
Well, the reputation that he built up, to be fair, Rhysand did build it up, and of course, he had his motives for it. But Tamlin was using that as part of his whole ploy.
Right. Tamlin then pushes Rhysand and Feyre in the most disrespectful and audibly, like, gasping way ever. And in front of every High Lord, decides to ask Rhysand if he likes the sound that she makes when she climaxes.
Yeah, that was like, wow, dude, really? That's just, yeah, not cool.
To which is when he has the very lovely chance to discover that she is High Lady of the Night Court.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of just, like, punched him in the gut even harder than everything else going on.
And everyone else too, because
Yeah.
they were just as shocked, but probably, Tori Corolla was probably the most shocked out of all of them.
Oh, probably, absolutely. Especially with him thinking that she's so happy to go back with him after, like, basically being kidnapped for a second time, to find out that that's the whole reason why his court went down. No, come on, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
he did get his sisters, forcibly turned into Fae.
like,
So,
I mean, there's
you know,
so much. There is so much that Tamlin fucking does wrong. And you know what? No, I'm gonna put a pin in that. I'm putting a pin in that right now.
that's fine. That's fine.
Asriel, like I said, steps forward, revealing that she is High Lady of the Night Court. Tamlin asks all the other High Lords how they can stand by Rhysand when he stood by Amarantha. I mean, that's a very bold claim, seeing how when Feyre went to go save her ass, you were doing absolutely nothing but cowering next to who? Who were you next to? Listen.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. At least Rhysand, knowing that it was going to do nothing, he at least, tried to do something. Even though I believe he even said himself that he knew it wasn't going to work, but he did it anyways because he couldn't stand by and not do anything.
Exactly. And I mean, we already discussed this in the first book, or like the first episode and everything. But while Tamlin sat there and did absolutely fucking nothing, just fingering his own asshole next to Amarantha, Rhysand was the one. Rhysand was the one that was yelling at her to watch out, helping her, cheering her on. He got so many disgusting looks by every other High Fae, like under the mountain, but he didn't care because he wanted her to survive. He was pushing for her to survive the entire time.
He was actually doing something.
God, I'm so angry.
I know. But what's also dumb is that when I think like even Rhysand said it too as well, to him, to his face, or was it to his face? I don't know. I remember him mentioning it to somebody that the first chance that he had gotten time with Feyre, instead of trying to run away, he was already trying to hop on her,
Yeah.
Started trying to, brown chicken brown wow.
No,
started to pour.
That just irritates me too. I mean, everything you just said, that is just opening a whole nother can of worms that we've already like gone over, but I am so willing to discuss it again.
Oh, I know, but it's just like, I mean, I get it. You miss someone, you know, things like that. But maybe you should pick a better place and location. I don't know about you, but a death hallway is not exactly the most romantic setting.
I don't think he even
Especially
cared.
When, captured and whatnot. You could have at least made an attempt to run. Come on now.
He didn't even care. He didn't want to run. That's the thing. He didn't want to run because he knew if he ran, he was going to be the one to die.
Yeah.
He didn't even care. I ultimately do not think it was even like Feyre dying that was holding him back. I truly think that he was too scared to die himself.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it, honestly.
Oh my god. Moving on, because I have so much to say about that. Tamlin again insults Feyre by basically straight up calling her a whore. Rhysand uses his powers to officially shut Tamlin up. Boss moment right there.
Mm-hmm.
Arquin rescinds all of his blood rubies, meaning the Night Court, aka the Inner Circle, is no longer in debt to them, which is phenomenal. Helion mentions how they should start by destroying all of Hybern's Faebane. Bestian brings in Nuan, I can never pronounce this, Nuan, which has found a solution to Faebane.
Oh yeah, it's like Muan. I think you had it right.
Nuan, yeah, it looks like Juan, but with an N.
Yeah.
Nuan basically created an antidote, a power that grants immunity.
Not a perfect immunity, but
no.
It's something.
It's something. It's something that works.
Yeah.
Baron, Tamlin 2.0, insults Rhysand, saying he did nothing but sit back with Amarantha while everyone else was off protecting their families. This obviously made Feyre very upset. She shot fire straight towards Baron. Even at one point, I believe Feyre was shooting both fire and water to try to scorch him even harder, and it was to the point that Rhysand even made her stop.
Yeah, try to get her to calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't blame her honestly, because I think he also, I think Barrett also made the comment that the only thing that Ray Sen did was warm up Amarantha's bed.
Exactly. And that's the thing, though. Like, I know Feyre is very used to that conversation because, I mean, they've had that conversation together multiple times. But the thing that she knows more, like, we know that that is one of the hardest topics to talk about with Rhysand because he did everything in his power to save as many people as possible. The only thing is, like we mentioned at the beginning, due to his reputation and the mask that he hides behind, nobody knows that. But he saved hundreds of thousands of people, while this motherfucker over here is complaining about having to save, like, what, 5 children and a wife?
Mm-hmm.
What else did you do? What, like, literally, what else did you do?
Not to mention, I think you want to be a part of it too. Given how he is. Kind of fits well with Amarantha's court.
Yeah. He was probably upset that Amarantha didn't choose him.
Probably.
He probably wanted to be, not emissary because Amarantha didn't care about the humans, but Amarantha's version of the emissary. That's most likely what Baron wanted to be.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. The way how he acts would have been great. Well, you know, for them too.
So, at this point, Baron attempts to leave the meeting. Nesta finally fucking speaks up, saying that she saw the king's heart when she went inside the cauldron. First of all, that is very interesting to me. I don't know what to take of that. That is very interesting to me. I didn't catch that the first time reading it, but this is very interesting.
I kind of got that part when I first heard it, but I didn't take much of it because the way I think it explained later on that the reason why she was able to quote unquote see his heart was because I think because he's kind of the wielder of the cauldron, you know? So I think like because him and the cauldron were connected, and when she was in there, you know, she was able to kind of like see the connections and this, that, and the other. Because, you know, everything about the cauldron, typically they're, you know, in some form or fashion connected. I know I keep saying that over and over again, but it's kind of hard to explain it.
No, I mean, that makes sense, though. And I didn't get that the first time or the second time reading it. So it's kind of nice to hear you explain it, because that does make sense.
That's how I see it. Because a lot of it comes with the magic. It's very, like, bond focus.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about some sort of connection one way or another. You know? Whether it's a bargain or just because of conditions or a trade or, you know, whatever.
They're back.
You know, some spells, yeah, they're back. Because I'm trying so hard to hold it in. But it's always about some kind of bond, connection, whatever.
I'm eating chicken wings as we're doing this.
Ooh, yeah, I just said I kind of want some more shrimp cocktail, but I can't eat anymore. I have my emotional support coffee too, as well.
I know. I have an Arizona with me.
Ooh, nice.
Well, we're almost to something special.
I can't wait.
So with Nessa telling her story, Baron says that he will think about joining their forces and then leaves. Vivian, Lady of the Winter Court, and Cressida from Summer Court, they both say that they will fight alongside them, along with every other High Lord except Baron. Even Tamlin at this point says fine, whatever. Like, he's kind of like an angsty teen, but he's like, whatever, you know?
Uh-oh, he's angsty.
Uh-oh.
Stinky. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, but yeah, no, completely agree.
Yeah, I just...
The one thing Tamlin did that was smart was say, yeah, we'll join the group.
You know, at the very, 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 very last episode, I think we only have like 3 more episodes. We were gonna have more episodes, which is supposed to be a surprise, but we have to work on things behind the scenes. But on the very last episode, we're gonna have to do a ranking and give award give an award to the most angstiest between Nesta and Tamlin.
Ooh, I kind of already know who I'm placing my vote to.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, I'm still more on team Nesta than I am team, Tonka Truck.
Alright. Moving on. I fucking hate Nesta. I hate Nesta so much.
I know you do, but at least she had some growth in the future. She had growth.
Barely. Oh, barely.
But it's better than, the Toyota Camry. I refuse to say
Anyway.
his name properly.
Helion then comes to visit the Night Court at night. Rhysand explains to Feyre that he likes both men and women, which explains the extra flirtiness. He is trying to convince Morgan, Cassie, and Azriel to bed him that night. I mean...
Now that's a sandwich.
I mean, I would pay to see it. Anywho...
I'd pay to droid. I don't swing that way, but, well, I mean, hey, once in a lifetime, right?
Helion is sure that Baron will join the forces. He goes on to telling them how his wife's sisters were butchered during the First War. During the attack on the estate, her sisters bought her time, allowing her to escape. Feyre now realizes that Helion had an affair with Baron's wife, which, we now know Helion is Lucian's father, not Baron. She believes Baron and his sons may know, which explains why they exiled Lucian all those years ago.
Okay. Alright. So, you remember how I mentioned something before?
Okay, well...
About something mind-boggling?
You remember how I have two theories?
Yes.
I have a theory about this. This is one of them.
Okay. I just want to say that I won't say mine until towards the end. But who knows, maybe with your theory, it might match up with mine. So, go ahead.
Why do you have to tease like that? Okay.
You've been doing that for so many episodes.
Not
I
my
don't want to
fault.
hear it. I don't want to hear it, and it's totally your fault.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna just start by kind of repeating the last sentence, or like the last-ish sentence that I said, just to kind of refresh everyone's memory.
Well, she was so rudely interrupted.
So we know that Helion is Lucian's father, not Baron. Which this is why Feyre thinks she believes that Baron and all of his sons, I think there's 7 of them total, I think. So 6 plus
like
Lucian.
That.
So yeah. In ACOTAR, and I'm talking about the entire series, in the series of Aquarian Thorns and Roses, Sarah J. Maas is very, very particular on how she words things. She only words things specific ways because she knows that eventually in the future, something is going to come around and something is going to attach to that, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, really quickly, listen to these descriptions. Lady of Autumn, russet eyes. Baron, brown eyes. Helion, amber eyes. Lucian, russet eyes. Eris, amber eyes. Cassie and Azriel describe Eris as acting like a bastard, while Helion describes himself as like a bastard, old habits and all. Eris, his name also comes from an ancient Greek goddess of conflict and discord. My theory is that Eris and Lucian are both Helion's kids. Eris is also a part of Helion. Which is why he and Lucian butt heads so much. Because not only do they have to fight for the dad that isn't theirs, but now they have to fight for the dad that is theirs. Which, this could be why Helion and Baron could be on the way to a blood duel. It is also possible... Okay. I'm now skipping to the 5th book. And again, we won't really talk about it. It is also possible for Eris to be Gwen's father. They both have the scent ability, all while Gwen glows, which indicates Daycourt lineage.
Gwen.
Library. priestess in the
Wait.
library. The one that's with Nesta.
What?
So I think Gwen is Eris's daughter. And then
But-
Eris is Helian's son. They had 2 kids together. Because
Oh.
Helian has amber eyes, so does Eris. Lady of Autumn has russet eyes, so does Lucian. The only one that does not have identical eyes is Baron, which has brown eyes. And like I said, Sarah J. Maas is very, very, very particular, so why are Eris's eyes the only eyes out of all the brothers that we get to see, besides Lucian? So, and if Eris has the only eye description other than Lucian, why is it that his does not match his father's eyes?
But if that's the case, oh dear God. But then who's Gwen's mom?
So anywho,
I don't even know what to say. Like I'm I'm over here like I am doing the algebra right now, and putting up the billboard and putting up the little pins, the colored pins, and I'm like, why does that work?
it makes sense though, right?
That's kind of creepy. Like, okay, like not creepy as like the whole, like the thing, but creepy as in like how that actually makes sense.
Right. And then that's what I said, like, we'll discuss this more in the 5th book, but Gwen
Yeah.
glows. The only other person that we know glows is Helian. He ends up, I think he glows at like some point in the book.
Yeah, I think whenever he like uses his power.
Right. And they
Typically,
both,
is when they use such a power. Yeah.
right. And Eris and Gwen both have the exact same ability. The only other time that we see people having the exact same ability is if, one, they are remade by a High Lord, which we already know she is not, and 2, if they're the
Or
same
by
bloodline.
lineage.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just hiccup and burp at the same time from that.
Well,
Oh God.
my next theory is quite literally around the corner. So,
Okay.
would you like to continue, or are you done being mind fucked for right now? Let's
I
continue.
mean-
Let's continue.
At least take me to dinner, Jesus.
You already had dinner.
That's true. But,
Okay.
Oh my God. I just. Wow. All right. Next one.
We're putting a pin in that until book 5.
That's fine.
But yeah. So at this point, we're skipping ahead a little bit. This is actually 3 chapters combined, if you're curious. Nesta is now getting incredibly sick. She's stating that something is wrong. At this point, everyone feels a massive shudder go through the land. Rhysand reveals that Hybern uses the cauldron to break the wall. Elaine states that they can use it, or they can take as many humans to Grayson's estate. It has high walls, supplies, ash weapons. Feyre goes to Amryn about the creature under the library, my baby. His name is Bryaxis. Feyre mentions she wants to make a bargain with it. Bryaxis states that he does not want to be freed from the ward, but rather have a window put in. He then agrees to fight in the war. Okay. When they end up winnowing to Grayson's estate, they are greeted by Jurian. So to start off with my theory, just know Jurian is part of it. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah.
My theory is about Morgan, and it does have a little bit to do with the 5th book as well, but not too much. My next
Okay.
theory has to do with Morgan. I don't truly feel like Asriel is in love with Morgan, but more so watching her by using his shadows to spy on her. He gets weird when others confront her, not out of his feelings, but to protect the others from her. Eris even claims Moore is lying to the inner circle about who she really is. In this book specifically, Moore claims she has the power of truth, but even Jurian, who claims to have known her for many years, claims she is a liar in this specific chapter. He says, and I quote, "You were always such a liar, Morgan." Azriel and Cassian only saw the aftermath of what happened to Morgan. When they talk about it, Eris is described as, and again I quote, "Eris looked between them smiling faintly, secretly, as if he knew something Azriel didn't." So her power is truth teller. But what if her power is not for her, but to keep others from telling the truth as well? And with all that being said, there's a rumor from Sarah J. Maas that the next book is going to have a traitor. I think Morgan is trying to bring down the Night Court.
I really hope not, because that would suck.
I really think Morgan is trying to bring down the Night Court. Because if you think about it, like I said, Cassian and Azriel are the only two that saw the aftermath. Eris knows exactly what happened, but every time he tries to, anytime anyone brings it up, he never talks about it. He never, he starts to talk about it, and then the subject is immediately changed. Same with Cassian and Azriel. They know the aftermath, but anytime anyone ever asks him about it, surprisingly, subject has been changed. So what if her power is not necessarily you cannot lie, but more so you cannot talk about what I tell you to talk about?
Huh. But if that's the case, wouldn't Raysan being able to notice that?
Depends. Depends on how well she is at hiding everything.
I guess you got a point.
I mean, wasn't Hamlin supposed to notice that Feyre was taking down his court?
Well, no. But then again, he's not exactly smart.
But still.
I really hope that is not the case, because as good as a twist that would be, that would suck so much, because that is Rhysand's cousin. That is a blood relative.
I mean, only family he has left besides Farah.
Well, yeah. But in terms of blood relatives, yeah, she's the only one, because he lost everything overnight, just like Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
Oh God, that is worse. That is so much worse.
Like I said, in this chapter,
I did not put two together on that. That did not cross my mind at all.
And in this chapter, Morgan is not there. Morgan is not there, but Jurian mentioned that they need to keep a closer eye on her. And no one ever put two and two together until later on. In this book, Eris confronts her and says, "You know what? You haven't really been too truthful." But we never get to hear why.
Oh man. I really hope that's not the case. Oh, that would suck. But that'd be quite the twist, to be honest.
It would. And I really, really, really do not want to see the Night Court fall.
Yeah.
But then also think about it. Everyone ships Elaine and Azriel together. Even though Morgan said that she did not feel anything for Azriel, that could have been her way to get Feyre off of her scent.
True. She also did mention, I think further on as well, that she prefers women.
She does.
Yeah.
She even had a lover in the First War.
Yeah, one of the human queens.
Mm-hmm.
At that time.
So there could easily be a thing where if Elaine is trying to, in fact, get closer to Azriel, Morgan might not like that, and this could be the end of the Night Court.
Oh, jeez. Or if anything, it might be a good thing for her because then Az would probably be too preoccupied with Elaine.
Exactly.
A pure and utter distraction. A perfect distraction. Because the way how Azriel interacts with Elaine is vastly different between everyone else.
Oh, absolutely.
If you pay attention. Which, I think both of them would be perfect for each other. Elaine is like the very, peaceful type. Azriel has dealt with nothing but, well, anything else but peace. And he's more than happy being, the dark horse. And Elaine is the complete opposite of that. She is like the pure white horse. So two, in a way, kind of like, I won't say personalities, but two like ways of life are so opposite that it works. Because, Elaine, kind of represents the purity, and Azriel is kind of more of, the darker nature, and given that he has the shadows, he's a physical representation of it. While Elaine was always described as like a bright light or, a bright beauty.
Which then in turn,
light and dark.
Exactly. That also could be why she calls to Lucian. Well, she doesn't call to Lucian, but Lucian is her mate because his lineage is Dacor.
Oh yeah, that also makes sense too.
I didn't think about that before.
Yeah, like comes to like. It brings that whole thing back. Yeah, like comes to like.
Exactly. We always thought that it was dresses, flowers, spring court.
Yeah.
But she is the light to possibly everyone else's dark, Dacor.
Or a light similar to the light. Or light similar to light with the Dacor. And then the light, the light in the darkness, which would be an Azriel standpoint. And then with Kaz and Nesta, well, light comes to light. They're both very fiery, passionate, and very, brash and all that. Those two fit way too perfectly with each other.
Yeah.
They're just both stupid, and it's annoying. But at the same time, there's like character development.
But it's like
great.
Cute.
It's cute. Oh. It's annoying. It's annoying, but it's cute. Anyways.
Well,
I guess I'm not sleeping for the next 2 weeks.
Yep, those are the two theories you have been waiting on.
God, I kind of hate it now. I kind of wish I didn't know. It's just, okay, the first one definitely messed me up, but this one with more? God, I really hope you're wrong. I really do. I am so hoping. But at the same time, the ratings, if that was the case, could you imagine if you had called that?
Yeah.
You need to TikTok that. You need to TikTok that.
And I mean, we can't really discuss it too much now, but like in the 5th book, Moore isn't really a part of the book that much because she's away trying to get like the treaty and allies started from other parts of Prithian.
And the human realms too, right?
Right. Or so we thought.
Oh, now I see what you're cooking. Oh God, that is... Oh, that's unsettling. That is so unsettling.
Well,
that fits way too well.
I'm gonna get a drink of Arizona while you just die a little.
Yeah, no, I definitely died a little. I think my hiccups are cured too. From just pure and utter shock. God, can you imagine that?
Unfortunately,
imagine how
yes.
Reyes would feel. And Feyre. Especially at the end of Silver Flame, because, you kind of did tell me, about a little guy,
So, yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, we're putting a pin in that. It's fine.
Just casually pins it.
Yeah, just casually. Just with the pin. Just
Next topic. Tooth Fairy. I'll
Um,
never stop.
there's really not much to talk about with this case, but I do want to talk about Bryaxis for a minute. I
Your
really love
boy.
Bryaxis. I really really love Bryaxis.
Okay, I'm really curious on why.
I don't know. And that's the weird part because I don't want to keep using like the phrase light comes to light or whatever, but
Yeah.
like something draws me to Bryaxis and I absolutely love him so much. And the interaction, because I know everyone is absolutely terrified. Like Cassian does not like being down there. And Cassian, you know, is big bat daddy. Like he will go to the ends of the earth through war and hell, but he doesn't like being down there
Right.
next to Bryaxis. But the thing is, whenever Feyre is discussing the war and like the treaty with him, he is such a kind-hearted creature, and it's
I
kind of
don't know
crazy.
about kind. Well, I mean, okay. I guess I could see how you would think kind, because he
Well,
seems very easier to talk to, or at least doesn't sound as scheming. Because his request was also very simple. But
it
then again,
was,
he did escape.
it was, but
Yeah.
he
Spoiler
was
alert.
respectful.
Yeah.
He was respectful, and that's the thing. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but
It does sound pretty crazy.
okay. All right, pause. We're gonna jump
Pause me.
series for 2 seconds. We're gonna jump to a whole nother series.
What? We do that here? Just kidding.
So think about like, just think about fourth week. You know how Tarn is. You know how he is. You know how he's an old man in a fucking massive ass dragon's body. He has a temper. He has a mouth.
Mm.
He's a fucking smartass. We love him for it. But it doesn't
Right.
matter. Even when Violet talks to him, he has smart ass remarks all the time. There is no respect because he knows I am better than you. I am your dragon. I chose you. You are here because of me. Right?
Right. Dragon Pride.
Right. So if we go back to Akatar, Bryaxis is this massive, scary monster that can most likely break out of the war. Let's be real. Judging by how much destruction he did in the war, he can probably break out of that little ward with no issues whatsoever. He's probably just content. But when Feyre goes there and she like starts talking to him, he has nothing but pure respect for her.
It makes me kind of want to go back and re-listen to it again.
Never once, even though, you know, every monster in Akatar is very cryptic, we get that. Besides him being cryptic, he never once disrespected Feyre. He never once looked down on her or even said anything against her. He agreed with her. He asked her questions. She asked him questions. He agreed to join. It was literally a cut and dry, very respectful confrontation. Not confrontation, but like, you know, like encounter.
Okay, that I definitely do agree, because that was a very easy, like, bargain. Like, I think there was more struggle trying to break the ward than it was to strike a bargain with him.
It was. And I don't necessarily still, I mean, I know we're still like kind of cutting it early, but like, I don't know why he disappeared. I still don't have an answer for that. I'm still curious on that on my own. And this is the second time I read it. But
Yeah, we have to wait till the next book to learn anything, because Sarah J. Maas definitely just like, we're gonna forget about Reaxis for
wait,
now.
exactly. The thing is, though,
You jerk. Anyways.
the thing is,
Me
though,
not
I have sniffles. I'm so sorry if y'all hear this. This is horrible.
Actually, I do too. I'm here. I've been playing with my nose for like the last 5 minutes.
No, like for real, like it's been horrible. I feel like I have like allergies today. But the thing is with Bryaxis, I think the reason why, and I mean it could have just been a lie to get out and to run away, whatever. Either way, one of the main things that kept him and that made him agree to be with them is the fact that he just wanted someone to be around him. He wanted someone to talk to.
That's true. He did say, just, come visit me. Which I don't think Favor ever did until he needed something.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, but think about it. I mean, like, literally think about it. I mean, after they agreed that Braxis was going to fight in the war with them, it was probably, like, what, 9 to 10 days later? War was already, like, Braxis was already out, and they were, like, literally in the middle of war.
You know what? Yeah, that is kind of true. Because we did talk about, like, how the time frame of, like, in the book, it made it felt like, when we're reading it, it made it felt like weeks.
Exactly.
But in canon, it was only, like, maybe a literal week for them, or
Like,
less than a week.
If I'm being honest with you, I have, like, 4 more points to make. And then the rest of this podcast is going to be war. Like, that just shows you how, like, quick it is. Like, this entire book is only, like, 2 months.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, we talked about that last episode.
Yeah, so there's really there is no way of, like, even though she said, yeah, I'll come visit you, not even a week later, he was already out alongside them.
Yeah, ready for war.
So.
Oh, well, to war. Going to war.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, good point. That is a very good point.
But yeah, I guess since we're already on the topic of war, I'll get my few points out. We can talk about them, and then we'll go to war.
Okay.
At this point, Jurian reveals that Tamlin did in fact run back to Hybern. Now, mind you, this was right after Tamlin agreed with all the other High Lords that he was going to be alongside, alongside Prithian, not the High Lord. High King. Yes.
Bird. Yes. That one old geezer that was like, get off my lawn. This is my land.
Oh, we would be canceled if I actually said what I wanted to say there, so I'm gonna continue. So at this point, Hybern now knows that all of the High Lords and their armies are now, like, marching to him, which is very devastating if you really think about it. Elaine tells Grayson that her heart belongs to him. He then demands his engagement ring back, saying that he doesn't want her heart. This then, does the downward spiral of Elaine for a little bit.
Yeah.
Rhysand cloaks all of his and Kier's forces, so now we have the entire Night Court together. Not just Valeris and not just Court of Nightmares, like all of the Night Court are together. Rhysand has a cloak on all of them in order to surprise Hybern. They make Hybern's forces retreat. Harkin uses his powers to drown all of the army that remains. Feyre goes to Elaine and asks her to find the Suriel. Says he is in the middle of the Weaver's cottage, so she winnows and finds him there. I'm gonna cry, man. I'm like legitimately gonna cry. I did my notes last night and I cried. Okay. Feyre asks the Suriel where Hybern's army is. The Suriel says that he does not know, for Hybern is using the cauldron to cloak them. He also mentions how Feyre can use Nesta to hunt the cauldron down. Like calls to like, is what he said. She then asks if nullifying the cauldron is enough to win. He says yes, but only if they can survive that long. She then asks about the Bone Carver and if he is a good choice for battle. The Suriel says he does not know, for he cannot see him since he is not of this world. She then mentions how he wants her to find the Ouroboros, the mirror, talking about the Bone Carver, and asks if she will lose her mind if she looks into it. The Suriel says only she can determine what breaks her. Also tells her that the answer lies on the second and penultimate pages of the book.
Yeah. By the way, you said that perfectly.
Penultimate? That's weird. I don't think I've, like, that word is like non-existent to me.
Yeah. It's okay. It's fine. It's just it's just a Sarah J. Maas thing.
So Ianthe arrives, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You want me to
Um,
say it?
well, we're getting there. Um, she is obviously upset. She's with Hybern's army. She tells Farah that she can no longer use her hands because of her. Ianthe heard from Tamlin that Farah likes to catch the Suriel, so she gifted him a brand new cloak with a tracker in it, which then in turn led Ianthe straight to Farah. Um, Ianthe then shoots the Suriel, and he lies on the ground, dying.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells Farah to run, which she does, leading them to the Weaver's cottage. The Weaver is inside, mentions how she can smell her brother on Farah. She also asks Farah who she brought. Farah says dinner, runs outside, leaving Ianthe and the soldiers inside.
Mm-hmm. And thinking exactly what she deserved, being feasted on.
Farah then runs back to the Suriel and he asks her to stay with him while he dies. The Suriel tells Farah to leave the world a better place than she found it. And unfortunately, he does die. Helion finds Farah, and Farah uses his cloak to cover his body. Yeah.
His fancy regal cloak meant for a high lord, and he used that, or she used that cloak to wrap up the Suriel. You know, it doesn't take a fantasy book to kind of display like a burial rite or like a show, because even like, you know, in normal society, doing such a thing means, you know, a high honor of some regard, and or some affection and love and things like that. And the Suriel reveals about once again stay with the High Lord.
Yep.
Even in his dying breath, he is still helping her at the very end. And of course, you know, she stayed with him, gave him, and when he died, gave him a beautiful cloak, you know, from a High Lord's cloak, and does and burns his body. A very ceremonious funeral, which he was rightfully deserved. Now, they deserve to die? No.
And you want to know, like, the really sad part? Like, I'm sorry. Like, the Suriel was my favorite. So I am, like, crying like a baby right now. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
If
you guys didn't know, she really loved the Suriel. And the Suriel was such a good boy.
Like, literally, the Suriel is, like, I love the Suriel more than I love Rhysand. Like, the Suriel was, like, my favorite character. But the really sad part to me is that everyone is always talking about how, like, if we go back to the first book, everyone is always talking about how the Suriel is this, like, devastating creature, super dangerous, should not be around him. If you ever got around the Suriel, the things that they would do to you, so on and so forth. All the Suriel wanted was someone to hold his hand as he died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't sound like... Oh, this is so sad. That doesn't sound like a creature that just... Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he very much could have been, and probably the only reason why is because maybe no one would have treated him or his kind like any respect. So that's probably why he has that sort of reputation, because he might very well may actually have that reputation. But Feyre did the one thing that no one would ever do, and that was free the Suriel after capture.
Exactly.
Most people would just let him die. But no, she didn't. She gave him a chance to live because the Naga came after them the first go around, right?
Right.
Yeah, the Naga. And
yes.
and she freed him. She could have just let him to die, and, you know, there is a chance, given the reputation, was that, you know, the Suriel could have easily gone after her. but he didn't. If that makes sense.
Right. And like the thing is though, I truly wholeheartedly believe that even though people say the Suriel is this devastating creature, I truly believe that he loved Feyre.
Oh yeah.
I truly think that he absolutely loved Feyre, even though most people of Prithian would think that he is incapable of any like feeling or remorse or anything. Like when it came to Feyre, he looked out for her, he protected her, he did anything and everything he could, even saving the High Lord of the Night Court, because he knew, even though she didn't know at the time, he knew that that was her mate, and he did everything he could to save Rhysand, because in turn that saved Feyre.
Yeah. And also saved him too.
Yeah.
Because even at his dying breath, we knew what happens, but at the end, and she stayed with him.
Yeah.
And with that was probably the cause of him surviving at the end. If that makes sense. I kind of word that weirdly.
No, that makes sense.
But, even at the very end, still looking after her one last time.
But yeah, so we have our first death of the war, and well, I guess now we're probably in the teens because of Ianthe and the soldiers, but we have our first big death of the war.
Mm-hmm.
That is just, it's so sad. Okay, so Cassian is now hurt. Rhysand did give him orders to wait, but he ignored them. Cassian thinks. Amren arrives with a book. Nessa tries to scry. Feyre looks into her mind and sees how big Hybern's forces actually are. This is kind of the oh fuck moment, because, we knew that he had hundreds of thousands of men on his side, but that's a number rather than actually, like, physically seeing them. Like, that's like an oh shit moment,
Yeah.
Feyre that night has a dream of the cauldron and wakes up to feeling something being wrong. She believes that her and Nessa open a door and the cauldron is on the other side watching them. They realize the cauldron lured Elaine away from the camp. It was kind of like in ACOTAR, Feyre saw her dad, but instead Elaine saw Grayson. He took her to Hybern's war camp. Feyre and Azriel go to get her. Feyre shifts to look like Ianthe because no one yet knows that she's dead. They winnow into the camp. Az hides himself in the shadow. That is where we are at right now.
The infiltration. It's an infiltration mission.
Oh my god. I'm so sad. So once inside the Hybern's camp, they see a Children of the Blessed on a rack, hung up and tortured. Durian finds Feyre and realizes that she, in fact, is not Ianthe, but then tells her Elaine is safe and untouched. She is chained in the king's tent. Durian also tells him how to escape through a cliff, so Azriel and Feyre make it to the cliff. Feyre grows wings and gets hit by an ash arrow. Hamlin arrives and creates space between Azriel, Feyre, and, the army trying to get her. Both Az and Feyre jump off the cliff and fly away. She looks back and sees Hamlin jump off the cliff and winnows away. So, this is kind of the part where I was putting a pin in it, because Hamlin is a piece of shit. We all know this. Hamlin is horrible. We hate him, whatever. We love to hate him, everything, so on and so forth.
Right.
But this is the first time that he's actually done anything humane. He knew that Azriel, and I'm just gonna be real, Azriel and Feyre probably were not gonna get out of that alive, especially with them both being shot with ash arrows, her never really flying by herself, barely being able to winnow. the fact of them jumping off, and I think they have a lane at this point. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so not only Azrael had Elaine, as well as a human girl.
Yep.
Because Feyre wanted to save her because, she was being tortured because he was one of the
Right.
children of the Blessed. And so, and of course, Tony the Tiger did come to assist. And of course, Feyre was still struggling because she was still learning how to fly.
Exactly.
And she never got to finish. But, Twinkie Belle decided to help out and gave her a gust of spring wind. She knew what it
Yes.
was because of the smell. And so when Tinkerbell decided to help out, she was able to glide away just enough for them to be safe. And now, realizing that he winnowed again, I completely that went over my head.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I'm stupid. How did I miss that?
Well, and the thing is, I think I was so, because Tamlin, I think, was getting pretty fucked up by the,
Oh yeah, no, he was limping. I think he
yeah.
said he was limpy, he was injured, he was bloodied. She was already able to tell just by looking back that he was already slowing down.
I think even at one point, it might not be this particular part in the book, but I even think that at one point she could hear him, how a dog whimpers.
Yeah.
He was even doing that because he was in so much pain. So the
Yeah.
fact that he was already getting hurt himself was able to give them space. Feyre at this point jumps off the cliff, flaps her little birdie wings, and then manages to fly. I think that was too much badassery for me to even remember or even acknowledge that Tamlin winnowed.
Yeah, I agree. It completely just it was overshadowed, by all of that. Oh man, just completely overshadowed.
I actually finished my notes last night, and when I got to that point and it said winnowed, I was like, what? It was an audible what? I could not. I literally wanted to message you on Discord so bad, but I was like, no, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna surprise him.
I can't wait until we get to my point that I found the other day. And
Oh my god, I'm getting there.
I know. It has to be towards the. Wait a second.
All right. Well,
Yeah, towards the end. It has to be towards the end because it happens at pretty much the very end.
I only have 2 more pages of notes. Ugh.
Ah,
All right,
I'm
fine.
I'm so ready. No, take your time.
I'll
I'm so ready.
continue.
This is my revenge. My vengeance.
All right.
But I do need a quick intermission because
Okay.
homeboy drank milk and I better go deal with that because I am lactose intolerant. So, before you start hearing way too much over the microphone, I shall return momentarily. Momentarily, momentary. You know what I meant.
Go away.
I'll be back shortly.
Be
I'll be back
gone.
shortly. Yes, I'll be back.
Oh my god. Okay. So, I'm not good at these things because, he talks about tooth fairies and everything, and I'm not the best at this. So, not necessarily, ow, I hurt myself. Not necessarily tooth fairies, but why is it that you don't see anyone having pets? Why is it that there are no such thing from what we can see of pets in Prithian? Right? Nobody has a dog, nobody has a cat, and then even if you think about fairies and everything of that nature, it would easily be a little baby dragon, or what is that thing from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them? The little creature that likes to steal coins and shiny shit. Why is it that no one in Prithian has an animal? No one finds this crazy that there are no animals? You never hear of gorillas? You never hear of lions? I mean, okay, if you think about technically Helion, he has a Pegasus. Is that a Pegasus? I don't know. Whatever. Like, yeah, sure, that's like a unicorn horse thingy, whatever. That's fine. But what does he do with it? Where does it sit? What does it eat? Like, but then, like, you never, like, there's no cows. There's no chicken. Goats? No? Not even a llama? So are the Naga the only type of animal source in Akatar? But then technically what, hold on, I'm gonna look at what Naga are. Like technically, like if there's a technical term for them. Because the Naga can't be the only. No, the Naga is a species of fairy. It's a species of a fairy. So it's still a fairy. It's not an animal. Hold up. No. Because it's a serpent. Okay, so the Naga in Hindu mythology, a Naga is a serpent. Semi-divine beings who are half human and half cobra. Okay, well, we understand that. So, man, I need Aqua to come back because I am messing my brain up right now. This is not fair. Okay, so I'm gonna Google then. Are there animals? And why is the first search? Are there animals in heaven? Oh, okay. All right. So there are, hold up. Characters or species? Well, none of these help. Hold on. Oh, wait, there are? Wait, are there actually? Wait, no, those are just species. Hold on. So it says there are white foxes, bears in armor. Okay, well, we know about the bears. Aren't the bears of Autumn Court? Whatever. So we know about bears. There's no. The bears are not Autumn Court. The bears are Winter Court because they're with Callius. Yes. Okay, so we understand. So Callius has bears. Helion of Day Court has a Pegasus. There are wolves. Oh yeah, obviously wolves are, yeah, but they're all creatures. They're all like, okay, the wolves are literally like Tamlin's men. So wow. I am so very upset by this. I am actually like very upset by like it says technically the Suriel is an animal, but I consider him a creature, like he's a species. Pets in Akatar. Okay, hold on. I'm now deep diving into Reddit. Are there pets in Akatar? So there's a meme, a Pharaoh holding two leashes. One leash has the bone carver, one leash has Boraxis. Not what I am talking about. It says apparently Eris has hounds? Or wait, no, I think that's just fan art. What is happening here? This is, okay, do you guys see why I am the one that gets up and goes to pee? Do you see what happens? Because you do not want me and my ADD to like fly off the rails, because now you have me. Listen, I'm not gonna, wow. So, because we obviously know, alright, so then what are let's look at what all of the creatures are in Akatar, make sure we're all caught up. So, we have the Suriel, we have the Naga, the Kelpie, the water wraiths, we obviously have like the Fae. We have half-breeds, high Fae. We We have Light Singer. Who is a Light Singer? Does it ever tell us who the Light Singer is? Because we have the Shadow Singer, but do we... Light Singers are kind of fairies said to inhabit the Bog of Orid, who kill mortals and fairies. They are ethereal beings who will lure their prey into them, appearing as friendly faces when their prey is lost. Only when their prey were in their arms would their true faces emerge. Okay, so like Feyre's father and like Grace and Tulane, yeah? Is that a Light Singer? Oh, no, because a Light Singer doesn't come out until the end of Silver Flames. So then what is it that Feyre sees in Aktar, like in the very first book? Martax? What is a Martax? What are you? You're of a Court and Thorns and Roses. Okay. They are... Okay, nope. Hold on. Large bodies as big as a bear and a head that resembles a lion. They have 3 rows of teeth sharper than a shark. Hey, you're not helping me. You're not helping me. Urisk? An Urisk? Oh, that's what Alice is. That's Alice. Okay. So I don't need that. A water wraith, a will-o'-the-wisps, witch, wraith, no. Tartara? What is a Tartara? When are you shown? Frost and Starlight. Okay, so this is the next one. Okay. Yeah, this is the next book. Okay, so then... The Surreal... The Seraphim. What are you? There's no information on you. Nice. The exact definition of the Seraphim is characters who are a part of the Seraphim species. Perfect. There's a river nymph, a puka. What is a puka? Is this a Court of Thorns and Roses? Great. Okay, a puka finds its way into the gardens of the Spring Court. Oh! This is... Okay, so we are talking about the puka. Okay. So then what exactly is a puka? The puka's true appearance is unknown. It only appears in the series disguised as Feyre's father and sisters. When describing the puka, Tamlin says that it belongs to the wind and weather and everything that changes. Interesting. Okay, so they use your own desires to lure you to some remote places, then they eat you slowly. Nice. Wait, so why are we looking at pukas again? Oh god. What is happening here? What are we doing with our lives right now? What are these Picts? Picts? P-I-C-T-S? Picts? Yep, that's it. The Picts were a group of people who lived in what is now known as northern and eastern Scotland during the late... Well, I don't care about that. Tell me it... Oh! When Feyre struggles in their arms, she is rescued by Rhysand, who is just staring at the 3 fairy... Oh! So is that them? The guys that get tortured by Amarantha afterwards? Oh god, where is Aqua? I need saving. I need to be saved right now. I am so sorry. Peregrine!
What's happening?
Oh god! Oh!
I just came in, I heard, I need saving.
You were gone for like 20 minutes.
Oh
my
God, it's been like 5.
My ADD took over.
Uh-oh. What happened? I thought mine was bad.
I don't know where we ended up. So, long story short, I was talking about how there's no animals in Akatar. Like, there's the Pegasus in Day Court, and there are the bears wearing armor in Winter Court. But then anytime you ever hear about anything else, you never hear about any animals in Prithian. But then...
Well, I mean, what about Hybern? They had the Naga-like dogs.
Well, but the Naga aren't dogs. The Naga.
No, 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 no. I know they're serpentine, but Highburn, when they were showing out the dogs, like when they went to the camp, because that's where we're at actually.
Well,
Like we
yeah.
just finished. She said, or it was described as they look like the Naga, as if they were like hounded beasts, though.
Well, yeah,
Like
but
they had, like,
they're
tail.
still okay. No, but my point. No. Okay. Bless you.
Mhm.
I think you're sneezing.
It was a cough, but thank you, anyways.
Okay. Well, you're welcome. Either way. There are no cows, cats, like there are no like llamas, deer, because deer are in the human yes.
No.
And then even the wolves, because I was thinking like, maybe there are wolves, but then the wolves are on the human side and the wolves that come over are Tamlin's men turned into wolves. So they're still men.
Well, there's like the Winter Court had a lot more. They had the ice people, the icicle giants or icicle tree people. They had the little foxes.
Yeah, the little foxes, I mentioned them, yeah. Oh, and then we went on a tangent because I had to go through all of the different species in Akatar until I found who looked like her father in the Spring Court. And we found him.
Who?
The puka.
Oh yeah. I forgot about the puka.
I already read it to everyone that was watching me have an ADD attack, but the appearance is truly unknown. It only appears as it says a puka belongs to the wind and weather and everything that changes. They use your own desires to lure you to some remote place and then they eat you very slowly.
Lovely.
Okay, anywho, that was horrible. Never leave me again, please. That was absolute trash.
That was fine.
You're gonna literally watch this episode back and you're gonna like facepalm.
I can't wait. I'll be a very proud cringe parent.
Oh my god, that was horrible. Ugh. Alright, continuing.
Yes.
Khaleesi's army has now joined, as has been healed, but he cannot fly for a while. We now find out, this is what we were talking about earlier, we now find out that Morgan loves women. She does like both, but prefers women. Mentions how she does enjoy sleeping with men, but more so because it keeps people from looking at her, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because the whole thing about like duty and what she's expected by her family and how traditions are, basically she's meant to be a breeder, you know, to continue the lineage. But she wants freedom. She doesn't want that. She wants to make that choice for herself if that's what she wanted, not out of obligation.
Absolutely. And this is where we did mention that she did actually have a lover in the first war. Talked about how much she loved her, all that good stuff. So like it's kind of a cute moment. I actually enjoyed this chapter. It was a really, really cute moment because Feyre is now the only person that knows.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. I don't know what this is, but you need to go away because you are disgusting. Thank you.
What was that?
I don't know. It was something sticky on my keyboard.
Ew.
I didn't know what it was.
Ew, stinky.
Okay. Hybern's army is now on the move, heading east. He's planning on winnowing as many humans to the human realm to spite Feyre. They plan on so then now Feyre and Rhysand are talking about how they're wanting to winnow as many humans to Adriata. Tarquin is already okay with that. Elaine has somehow found a way to stop his army. It was not even a, oh, guess what? It was more like a, I know a way. And yeah, whatever. It's fine.
It's called plot device. Yay!
Woohoo! Basically, I'm gonna just keep going, because we're now kind of at the end. So just cut in when you need to, because the rest of this conversation is going to be all about war, and we have a lot to talk about. So
don't worry, I'm ready. I'm ready for that one special moment when I go. So
it better be that dramatic.
I will make it even more dramatic if I can. It'll be
Uh,
like telenovela meets Korean soap opera with like the same shot like 4 different times with just one long ass
no.
song, you know. And in my heart there was something or other. Da, 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 da. You know, that's what I'll be as dramatic as that if I
I
can.
I wish I was good at editing because I would have edited that into like something like super like cheesy, but I don't know how to do that. So everyone who is watching this, just imagine the camera slowly like zooming in
All
on him,
sparkly. Yeah, sparkly.
sparkly, a different
Yes.
hue, like it looks like there's a filter on it. Even give him the
Exactly.
uwu cheeks.
Give me the thought Patrick nails, whatever, all that good stuff.
All right.
Anyways, continue.
Oh, this episode is going so well.
This is great. 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
Oh my god, this is why we can't do long series anymore. We have to stick with one book and one book only.
I know. Oh god, our attention span is too short. That's
Like
really
for
good.
real, we literally, your attention span is squirrel, mine is just ADD. Have like us together, it's horrible. Shut up, stop talking. Let me. Okay, they.
I'm surprised we both make up a brain cell because both of our brain cells barely work as it is.
Oh god. Okay,
Lord.
holy shit. Okay, so they can use the cauldron to bind the king and his army to it and then wipe them off the earth. Pretty badass, yeah. Feyre goes to the court of nightmares and looks into the mirror. She brings the mirror back to the carver, and he says that he actually didn't really want the mirror. He will fight alongside them. He just wanted to see if Feyre was basically good for the deal. Oh my god. Oh, I have hiccups now. Okay.
You're welcome.
Did you just unmute your mic? What are you doing,
No.
you freak?
Look, I got some soup. You want to hear me slurping?
Okay. Oh, here we go. Hybern now marches through the human lands, destroying everything as he goes. Azriel gives Elaine his blade, called the Truth Teller.
Truth teller. Yeah.
Rhysand says it's the very first time he has ever let anyone touch his blade. First of all, insane.
Kinda kinky. If you have your eyes closed.
What? They arrive to see that they are heavily outnumbered. So now we are finally at war. Feyre shows off her new mating gift tattoo. It goes down her spine. It's the phases of the moon. Love it. Hybern lowers his shield, revealing his entire massive armies. Feyre lowers her glamour, revealing the Bone Carver and Briaxis. The Weaver does in fact show up. They will break her spell if she fights along with them. She has a containment spell where she has to stay inside of her cottage. They did have a deal where if she fights alongside them, that will no longer be the case.
And that was a special surprise to Daddy Rhysand.
Yes. Because Rhysand actually made Helion go talk to her, which I thought that was good. Because I don't know. I don't really know why necessarily. I don't think it actually explains it, but I don't really know why she hates Rhysand so much.
I don't think the Weaver hated Rhysand. I think she just hates everyone equally.
I don't know, the way it makes it sound like she hates everyone equally, but Rhysand a little more. But I never understood why, because they never explained that.
Maybe because at some point he probably, I think like he maybe sent someone, or I think maybe he attempted to do something, because that's why he knew like if he tried to do it, you know, she would get his set immediately. So I think it's because he made an attempt to grab his mother's ring.
Probably, yeah.
Which I can see that, you know.
So the war officially starts. It is absolutely incredibly bloody. Horns sound and 3 additional armies appear. Baron, Hamlin, and Grayson's human army led by Jurian. Amryn, Feyre, Nesta, and Elaine make their way through the battlefield to find the cauldron. The king uses the cauldron to destroy the Illyrian soldiers in the sky, turning them into ash. At this point, Nessa is kind of a ball of nerves, wondering where the hell Cassian is. This is kind of like the first moment that we see Nessa show her humanity, being nervous for Cassian. Because, you know...
She has feelings for him.
Yeah, I mean...
They have feelings for each other.
They're gonna fuck.
Yep.
Anywho.
It's gonna be awkward, but they're gonna do it.
Oh, it's so awkward.
I know.
It is so, like, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna just say something super quick and then I'll save it for that episode.
Yeah.
Sarah J. Maas is pretty decent at writing, like, brown chicken, brown cow, like, chapters. But tell me why the first few chapters that she did that with Nessa and Cassian, they were so awkward.
I think it's because it was meant to be, because them two, they've been like, you know, they have been like so like teasing each other aggressively for so long.
I don't know. I would assume no, because I would assume
it was also extremely detailed too.
Oh my god, like so much. Like I don't need to know how many. Never mind. Anywho, we'll talk about that later. The king then uses the cauldron to destroy the bone carver. That was kind of sad. And, you know, at this point, you can hear the Weaver. She goes absolutely fucking feral.
Even though they wanted to kill each other, it was still her brother.
They were still family, nonetheless, yeah.
Family of death gods, you know.
So, Feyre realizes that Amlin will have to go into the cauldron alone. Another horn blasts, and this is where 3 ships appear with,
Hybrid soldiers.
Yeah, this is hybrid soldiers, but then another blast goes off and this reveals Dracon's legion and ships filled with Miriam's people. These this is crazy too, because this is kind of like an oh shit moment as well, because Papa Archeron is here. There are 3 ships, one named after every single Archeron. I personally have feelings about this. The boat, or I guess the ship leading the pact, is Nesta, followed by Feyre and Elaine.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that? Like truly, like how messed up? Okay.
Explain.
Up. Buckle up. I'm ready. Okay. I understand.
Oh no.
No, I understand Nessa is the eldest. I understand that. So by logic, Nessa should technically be in front. But what on earth? Tell me what on earth did Nessa and Elaine actually do? What did they do? Because the entire time, like, Feyre is the one that took care of her dying mother. Feyre is the one that hunted for years, gave them food. Feyre is the one that skinned all the animals, cleaned all the animals, cooked all the animals, gave them food. Feyre is the one that literally went, quite literally, to a whole different realm just to fucking save them. Whether or not they still came back or not, or they got turned or not, whatever. Nessa and Elaine did absolutely nothing but sit on their asses and guilt trip Feyre for not doing more for them, aka buying them new boots, buying them a new, like, whatever. Why on earth did he have Nessa first? He knew damn well what he was doing. He should have had Feyre's ship first. Feyre should have come first for as much as she has sacrificed for their family. Yeah. Choose your words wisely. I swear to God, this will end our friendship.
I mean, to be honest, I see what you're saying. I think the reason why he did her first is because he knows that he did Nesta wrong by not being active, and he knew that. And the fact that he knows that Nesta took it the hardest, and probably the reason why Feyre is second is because he knows how her character is, and she's a lot more, the empathetic, the forgiving, while Nesta is not, obviously.
I don't
And
know.
Elaine is Elaine, I guess.
I mean, Elaine is Elaine.
Yeah.
But the
I
thing
think that's the
is,
reason why it's to kind of like show that, like, I failed you. I think even he said, like, I failed you before, but this time I'm not going to do that.
right.
So
And I
think
can
that's the reason
totally
why-
see that. I can definitely
Yeah.
see exactly what you're saying. However, if you remember, I think it was the first book, he said thank you. Like, he told Feyre thank you, and basically along the lines of said, I'm sorry I never said it before, but I truly appreciated everything that you've done for us. The only true way, that was the most half-assed thank you I have ever heard in my life. The only true, like, homage and, like, thank you that he could have done was to put her ship first.
Yeah. But I think for him, probably for him, he really thought, he probably really meant it. It's just probably the way how it kind of came out in the book, because then again, it was like very, very rushed. Because when he said it, was more like that was when like she was being taken by Tony the Tiger, by Torque Wrench. So when Torque Wrench came and took her, that's when he said it.
Yeah.
And so when he came back, he was so busy, keeping everything in check, being happy that she returned, and then of course now, he felt like everything's okay, but of course, with Nesta, there was still that resentment. So I think that's why he felt more towards, putting her up front as a show. And with Elaine being so young and things like that, and she was, even regardless, she was the most taken care of, and she was the most kind, to him. He didn't feel like he really needs to do anything about it. At least I don't think so. But he
Right.
still named his 3 ships all after their, his daughters, and it is technically it would have been in terms of age, but since Feyre was put second instead of Elaine,
Right.
you know.
So I don't
So
know. That is
that's
actually
how I see it.
that's a genuine question for you guys. Leave a comment. Who do you think deserved to be first? Nesta, Elaine, or Feyre? Because I'm at odds with it. I think I'm actually like biased. I think Feyre should have been put first because Nesta did absolutely nothing. She did
Yeah.
nothing but criticize her father for losing their money. Not even their money, his money, mind you. She
Yeah.
didn't like the fact that they were poor anymore. He blamed him for it, and so she not only took it out on him, but took it out on Feyre as well.
Yeah.
So
Then again, that's also a lot more on Nesta too, and him. But
yeah.
putting it on Feyre was not needed at all. She had enough to deal with.
But anyway, Dracon appears saying that he heard rumors. Rhysand said he couldn't find them. Dracon said that they put up a glamour on the island 300 years ago. Anyone approaching it would be inclined to just turn around. He claims that most of the army isn't even his. He met up with a queen named Vessa. Feyre realizes that it was her father who found Vessa and found out the queens were traitors. Vessa is flying as a freebird. Nesta says Feyre can use her as bait to draw the king out. Nesta says the king doesn't know how much she took from the cauldron, and if she uses its power, the king would find and kill her. The king walks up to the weaver in battle, completely snaps her neck, and tosses her head into the 2 Naga hounds.
Yeah, her head and body.
The king senses Nessa's power and heads to her. They finally get to the cauldron, and Feyre realizes that Amren lied to her. Amren apologizes for lying. Feyre sees Rhysand shift into his beast form and describes it as a thing of nightmares. The king winnows to Nessa. Yes.
Well, another thing too, the reason why I'm saying this because I like this little detail, was that when she would mention the thing of nightmare, she realized that the creatures that were on the Hewn City throne, Rhysand's throne, in Hewn City looked exactly the same. So
Yeah.
she had already known what his monstrous form looked like this entire time, which I thought was cool.
I didn't actually think of that. I did not put two and two together on that.
Yeah, she mentioned it that it looks just like the creatures that were on the throne room.
I don't think I noticed that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I like that little detail because it just makes sense. Like this entire time, she already knew what it looked like.
Well, okay. Well, now, luckily, I have the chapters written down on here. When I
Mhm.
write my notes, I know y'all already know this, but I actually write what chapter it is so I can, like, go
Go
back
back
to it
to
if
it.
I need to. Because before, I was only just doing notes, like bullet points, but now I'm doing chapters with the bullet points. Because trying to find the 200,000 army in the last book, or like the last episode, was fucking impossible.
Well, luckily I knew what chapter it was, so I told you which chapter.
Yeah, well, I roughly knew what chapter it was too because of my notes, but it was difficult.
Yeah.
Um, the king winnows Sinesta holding a knife to their father's throat. He essentially kind of asks for payment to get the father back. She agrees to give back what she took from the cauldron. The king then stabs her father's neck. Cassian begins fighting the king. The king brings his foot down on his wing, snapping a bone. Nessa's power explodes, forcing the king to winnow back. Nessa grabs Cassian's swords, but the king quickly disarms her and hits her across the face. She sends another bolt of power towards the king, basically yeeting him. Like, this bitch empty. Yeet.
Yeah.
The king comes back to kill Cassian. Nessa looks up at him with the blade, going through his throat. And Elaine's, behind Truth Teller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, use the truth teller, stab in the throat.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? Nesta went and did the final blow by literally grabbing the blade and started sawing off, like turning it and just, cutting his neck slowly. And he was still alive the entire time because he was trying to get that blade out from his neck.
Oh, yeah.
Totally deserved.
Totally deserved. She even held up the head and just fucking, like, stared at it.
Mm-hmm.
Amren tells Feyre that the Suriel told her an unleashing spell to allow Amren to unleash herself onto Hybern's forces. She said she plans to do that, but no one will remember her once she is freed. Amren then gets into the cauldron.
She won't remember anyone.
Yeah. And then she gets in the cauldron and she tells Feyre the spell. Feyre then looks inside the cauldron and sees a void. She can feel the void in the cauldron growing and then realizes it will destroy everything. At this point, kind of skipping ahead a little bit, the cauldron is now broken.
And that's because of Amren's power.
Yes.
Which she was released.
Yeah.
Now I see why I have a huge heart on for the girl. But anyways.
So Rhysand comes up, tells her that... Bless you? Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry. Dust went to come in and say hello and,
Rhysand tells her she needs to rebuild the cauldron, but she says that her power is fully depleted. He then says that she can use his power and thus lends his power to Feyre. Throughout the spell, I'm gonna cry again. Throughout the spell, he continuously tells her that he loves her. And then once the spell ends, Rhysand falls to the floor dead. Feyre then realizes that he was saying that he loved her as a way of saying goodbye. He then begs the High Lords to bring him back. Elian says, "You were a human. It is not the same." Each High Lord, including Feyre, gives Rhysand the kernel of light to resurrect him. Amren comes out of the cauldron, now a normal High Fae.
And that
Um,
was after Raysan finally got
yeah,
revived,
yep,
and Twink Twinkle Twink came in and helped out as well.
yep.
Nice of him,
They
finally.
they even showed Feyre how to make the kernel of light, which was really cool. So Feyre made her
Mhm.
own, threw it down on Rhysand. The thing though, I do want to pause really quickly because we actually only have 4 more chapters. It's only like 5 bullet points.
Yeah,
I still don't know what to make of it when Helion says it is not the same. Talking
I think it's
about resurrecting Rhysand.
I think it's because when they resurrected Feyre, she was human, so they
Correct.
just made her into Fae. But given that someone's already Fae, they probably thought it's like, well, we can't turn him to anything else. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's why. Which makes sense because they gave the kernel of power, not thinking it might have worked. Because I think some of them admitted we didn't think it would work. But making a Fae body to see if it worked. I mean, the fact that she still lived, have all her memories and things like that, was still a miracle within itself.
Right.
And so they thought, well, since he's already Fae, then what's gonna happen? Just turns out he just comes back alive.
But I'm wondering if because he's already the most powerful High Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and when they bring Feyre back, she gets all of their powers combined. So I'm wondering what happens when you mix that aspect with already the most powerful High Lord, because that kind of sounds like, and I don't know how to phrase this, but that kind of sounds like he then goes from the most powerful High Lord in Prithian to now an like otherworldly being.
I feel what you're saying. I think I agree with the increase in power, but I kind of like figured there's no way that he's gonna get any of their abilities, because when Pharaoh, like I mentioned, Pharaoh was dead. She was human. They made her body to be Fae,
Right.
in a way. With Raysan's already Fae, so all they did was just give life or energy back into that Fae body.
Correct. But then if you think of in any world, including Akatarpa, in any world, even our own, you have to give to get. So what was given in order to get Rhysand's soul back?
That I don't know.
Nothing has been mentioned as of yet, but something has to have been given in order to get him back. And it's to the point where Helion himself says, quite literally, it is not the same. But they all stepped forward. Yeah, they all stepped forward. They all dropped the kernel of light, and it worked. He's back. So that's something that I want to kind of, I don't know. I kind of want to look into that a little bit. Yeah. And like, I don't know. It's just that part kind of.
No, I see what you mean. I think maybe with the soul part, because we did mention, because when Faye died, Rhysand was holding on to that bond,
right,
that they had, and of course it ended up becoming the mating bond. And so Feyre basically just did the same thing to kind of
no, because Feyre at the very end of this book quite literally says the mating bond was gone. All of it was gone. No tether, no mating bond. All of it was gone. There was nothing. I was thinking that too. I thought the exact same thing until I reread it. There is nothing there. He is dead. Like, there is no tether. Like, his soul is leaving. He is straight up dead.
I could have sworn there was something, because I remember, like, she said that she threw out anything. Like, she threw out, whatever she
Nothing
had
caught.
There. Huh.
Nothing caught. None of it. That was it.
Then I guess that was just pure luck. I guess he just held on as much as he could. Oh, but he did mention that when he was dead, he did felt Amren. So maybe they held on to each other, and since Amren was in that, that black goopy stuff of primordial creation and darkness, from the cauldron, the black soup. Because if you think about it, Oh my
Now
god.
that raises
No, no,
another
no.
question though.
Okay. Before, real quick, I just realized something. You remember when Feyre died? It was like a whole black, nothingness,
Right.
right? When Nesta was inside the cauldron, it was almost a similar feeling. And when Feyre was talking about that black nothingness, it was almost a similar description as death.
So
Am I
so what are you getting at? I'm just trying to see your point.
okay? So I don't know, but I think the cauldron has a connection between life or death.
Right.
And
Okay. Hmm.
it's okay. It's hard to explain because if we're talking about how Sarah J. Maas does, excuse me, if we're talking about like how details, right? The details of how Sarah J. Maas, obviously if she meant something to be important, she would give very specific details.
Right.
So a lot of times when they're talking about that blackness of like, when Pharaoh was dead, the only thing I can find similar to that, besides you describing to the bone carver, was inside the cauldron.
Right. But now that raises a
So
question on my end. Continue, but now I have a question.
yeah, go ahead, because that's really all I could say, just repeating the same thing, that there's so many similarities between what's inside the cauldron
Right.
itself, that black inkiness, and the way how death was perceived.
Okay, so how is it that the cauldron makes anew, right? The cauldron made the queens, Nesta, and Elaine Faye. Gave them new powers, new whatever. Yeah, okay? When Amryn came out of the cauldron,
Okay.
she was lesser than what she originally was.
Yeah, she was no longer her former self, she was total Fae.
Correct.
Because she wasn't Fae in the beginning, she was whatever that being was, but she bound herself into a physical body.
Right. So the cauldron made her lesser than. Now, with what you're saying, you said that Rhysand saw Amryn, whatever. What if Rhysand took the remaining part of Amryn's power, turned her high fae because she had nothing left, so she was then dead. The cauldron turned her dead body, her carcass, into high fae. So now not only does Rhysand have quite literally 7 High Lords, because if you count Feyre as a High Lord, obviously, he now has 7 High Lord, Kernel of Lights, and now sucked everything out of Amryn. What the fuck is Rhysand? I am so convinced
Just a
Rhysand.
superpowered body.
I am so convinced Rhysand is not just High Lord anymore. I am so thoroughly convinced that he is not just High Lord.
Oh, I just remembered a small detail. Okay, so we know, going back a little bit, this might help out a little bit with clearing maybe some things up. Remember when Elaine went to go stab the King of Hybern?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how the cauldron reacted? Because it wanted something back, but then it saw Elaine kill Hybern because Hybern was about to kill Nesta, as
Yes.
Nesta, stole from the cauldron. But the cauldron gave Elaine that power.
Yeah.
The cauldron gifted that power while Nesta stole, and the person that the cauldron gave defended the one who stolen it. So then it became docile. So given that it knows, quote unquote, it knows Elaine, quote unquote, right?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that Elaine, it's around these people, around Nesta, around Feyre, and technically Rhysand, that I think maybe the cauldron allowed it because of the fact that of Elaine's actions, because it made it docile. And maybe when Feyre repaired the cauldron using Rhysand's power, because she did use his power to fix the cauldron and restored it, right?
Right.
Maybe the cauldron remembered Elaine, and remembered that Rhysand's power was used to heal it. So maybe the cauldron allowed Rhysand to be, for Amryn to become what she is now. But then again, she did sacrifice, her power to become lesser. And maybe for Rhysand, if we go back to the whole primordial soup, the primordial black soup, maybe the cauldron allowed Raysan to basically keep, let his soul go back into his body and use the carnal power as a catalyst for him to be revived. But that doesn't mean that he didn't get a power up, because he's still super powerful.
Well, then that kind of like that raises a question to me too, because when the cauldron is broken, it was like described as that black soup was gone. There was nothing in it. It was just piles of like rubble, basically. So if we actually think about it, when she rebuilt the cauldron, not only did it refill with whatever wasn't there, it also put an entire being back in the cauldron.
Possibly. And maybe it noticed, and maybe it remembers it. So that's why it was like, all right, we're going to play nice, sort of thing.
Because it put Amryn back.
Yeah. And let Raysan maybe live, possibly. Who knows? That does raise a lot of questions. Yeah, it does. This next book, Sarah J., which I doubt she'll ever see this, but if she does, please, we need more of the cauldron.
Like, yeah, because like the cauldron is such
a mystery. It's such a mystery.
It's such a complex thing in the Sarah J. Maas universe.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh,
well,
man.
Let me just say, I mean, I literally have 5 bullet points left. We have 4 chapters left, and then just talk about whatever. The Archerons now go to pray over their father and burn his body. Lucian comes in and tells her everything that their father did, as in making a deal with Vessa's keeper. They ask Dracon and Miriam to hide the cauldron. They agree. Feyre meets with everyone, tells them their story, like all the High Lords, all that, whatever. Rhysand and Feyre go back to Valeris and make a bargain where if one dies, the other one dies with. He then tells her that Bryaxis has vanished and they will have to hunt him down and put him back in the library. And the book ends with them flying over Valeris. So that is the end of the book. What was your point?
Okay.
Wait, pause. You said you would do it better. That was not that good. Okay.
Hold on. Okay. All right. Let me just shake it out. Oh my god.
Okay.
This is mind-boggling. This
is it.
This is it. Okay. Seeing that you went through the bullet points, I think you may have missed it.
Okay.
Which makes me kind of happy because it makes this build up even more.
Oh god.
Which honestly, this could be the very last thing for this episode, to be honest, because who doesn't love a cliffhanger, right?
Oh god.
And again, that's the DM inside of me. Anyways, because I'm a nerd. All right.
Oh, I hit my knee on my desk. Oh my god, I died. Oh my god. Oh.
You see, guys, it's so intense that she got herself hurt. Okay, guys?
Oh my god, that hurts so bad.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Ow.
Oh my god.
Okay, continue. Okay, sorry. Wow, that hurts so bad.
All right. We're gonna rewind a little bit.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Okay.
I'm so nervous.
So, after the war, right after the war, when they started to talk to each other to work about new treaties, remember when they went to Feyre's old estate, okay?
Okay.
And that they were meeting with everybody to talk about the new treaty, basically. Right?
Okay.
Feyre greets everyone one by one. Now, when Vassa comes, she made a comment. And right before that, Feyre mentioned that when they were talking, we should be careful about what we say, because High Fae may have High Fae hearing. Right?
Okay.
And they're just a door. There's only a door that separates her from the rest of the High Lords, which are already there, because the last person, or last group of people, or person was left, late. Well, the second last. We'll say second last because technically the last people were the human, the human squad. What's his face? Vassa comes in and she mentioned Vasa said that Helion is Lucian's true father, and that right before the meeting after the war with Highburn, it was mentioned that, they could hear due to high faith hearing, and that she was trying to get Lucian's true father, spell cleaver, to break the spell the curse that's on her. Vasa knows that Lucian's real father is Helion.
Wait, where does it say that? Hold up, I'm grabbing my book. Hold on.
Okay.
No, okay, you kind of fuck me up when I have to grab my book. Hold on.
Yes. Let me find it. It's literally like in the last like 2 chapters, like 80.
Okay, I'm on 80 right now. Yeah.
It should be 80.
Elaine, Jurian, Amryn, Nesta,
Oh my god, which one was it?
Resand.
Oh no, 79. It's 79.
79? Okay, I'm going back.
Yeah,
Hold up. Pause.
Yes.
Pause, you bitch!
It's towards the end. Because it was when she was talking about how great her father was, blah 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 blah. It's when they were talking about the peace treaty. I have like my hands together. I'm like covering my mouth. You can definitely see this over the podcast yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because, okay, I see where it says, with so many fey ears in the room beyond, I didn't dare give my answer but the truth.
Keep going.
Right.
Because that comes first. And then the rest of it with Vasa, when she mentions that Lucian's true father is Helion. My question is...
Hold on. Pause.
I am so giddy right now. I'm like spinning in my chair, like back and forth.
Hold on. No, because it doesn't... Hold on. What are you talking about? It doesn't say anything on this page. Pause.
I know it does. I swear to you it does. I heard it on the audio.
Okay. So, okay, Vessa only shook her head, waving a hand as her eyes darkened, and repeated, "Can you break my curse?" I don't know how to break those kinds of spells, I admitted. Her face fell. I added, "But we can try." She considered. "With the healing of our armies, I won't be able to leave for some time. Perhaps it will give me a loophole, as Lucian called it, to remain longer." Another shake of the head. We shall discuss this later," he declared, "along with the treaty of my fellow queen's pose." My heart stumbled a beat. A cruel smile curved Vessa's mouth. "They will try to intervene," she said. "With any sort of peace talks, Highburn sent them back before this battle, but I have no doubt they were smart enough to encourage that, not to waste their armies here." "But they will elsewhere?" Nesta demanded. Vessa tossed her smooth sheet of hair over her shoulder. "We shall see, and you will think of ways to help me." I waited until she headed for the sitting room before I flicked my brows up at the order. Either she didn't know or she didn't care that I was also a queen in my right. Nesta smirked. "Good luck with that." I scowled, shoving down the worry. So see, there's nothing in here about this. That's the end.
No, oh God, I know that there was. I'm not insane.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back a page.
Maybe it's further back. Yeah. I know it's there. I know.
Oh, I found it. Okay.
You found it. Okay.
I found it. I found it.
Read it. Read it for everyone.
So it says, the look Nessa was giving the queen was enough to wither the grass beyond the shattered front door. It didn't get any better as Vessa said, "Can you break the curse on me, Feyre Archeron?" "Is that why you agreed to come so quickly?" A half smile. "Partly. Lucian suggested you had gifts, and other High Lords do as well." This is Feyre talking. Like his father, his true one, Helion. There's no quotation marks on that. Feyre said that. In her mind.
Feyre said that.
Feyre said that
Oh,
in her mind. There are no quotation marks there. Feyre said that in her mind.
oh, I thought that was Vasa. Ah,
Okay, debunked.
fuck. Well,
Debunked.
I thought I had something there because I thought,
Debunked, bitch.
damn. Pom 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 pom. Pom. Well, I feel stupid.
No, you fucked me up with that. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, wait, no, she didn't. Because
I thought it was her.
so the thing
couldn't
is,
tell.
like, I read the books. I mean, the first time I was reading it and listening to the audiobook, but like I read the books. So when you said that, I was like, wait, no, I don't remember that at all. No, it was Feyre.
Damn, I thought it was Vasa because when I was listening to it, I went to read it too, and didn't click that it wasn't in quotations.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god! But could you imagine though if she had said that?
That is crazy. So that explains why she says with so many ears. She didn't say it out loud. That was in her head. So she could have
Mhm.
easily like fucked over multiple courts and the treaty.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Well, debunked.
Well, okay.
Well, there went my whole thing.
Sorry. I'm so
No,
sorry.
No, it's okay. That is the whole point
No.
of these podcasts, anyways. It's the whole point of the podcast.
Oh, I am so sorry. I literally,
No.
so for the viewer, just in case, I
Could you
was,
imagine.
I could though. Oh my god. So, okay, for the viewer, I was not grabbing my book to prove him wrong. I am a very visual person. So when he's talking about something, I have to see it for myself to
Mm.
better understand what he's saying, if that makes sense. So I looked it up so that I could also back up his statement, and it failed horribly. I am so sorry.
No, it's okay. That was my own mistake. But that's also a good reason why that you should always check anyways, because like this could have happened to where I was wrong. You know?
Wow.
Because I did not realize the quotations. I thought they were quotations.
That was a
Because
good
I
catch
actually
though.
Yeah, but because I went and I thought I saw quotations. So either the one that I read may have had it by accident, or it could very well that I thought it was, and I just got super excited, and that's how it ended up.
Yeah.
But
Well,
could you imagine that though?
damn. That would have ruined a lot though in the book if they would have heard that.
I know. That or they just happened not to hear it and kind of like lucked out.
Well, and I mean, they always talk about Fae hearing in the other books too. I think it's the
I think it was the first book actually.
I think it was the first book when Tamlin and Feyre decided to have mommy and daddy time. I think even Lucian mentioned that he heard something or whatever. Like they always, like you could always hear from the other
Yeah.
rooms.
Yeah, they always played around with that.
So,
But yeah.
wow. Well, I feel like there's a lot that we have to talk about, but I kind of feel like I don't know. If you want, I know we still have 3 more episodes to go.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we can do the 5th book in 1 episode, to be honest with you. I mean, that's up to you. But we have 3 episodes to go. If you're wanting, we can always do a 4th episode to like tie everything up, like if we forgot to mention something. So that's if
Oh, I'm down for that.
yeah, I mean, we don't have to do it, but if you do decide that you missed a few things, we can do like a 10 to like maybe 30-minute episode of things we forgot to mention, you know? So I'm down for that if you need that. So I'm going to look up some stuff, like the stuff about Resand, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look some stuff up and see if we can get any information. The next episode, though, is going to be so very controversial, and I am here for it.
Oh Lord. I know exactly what's coming up, Ed. Whew, there'll be some fine words.
Yeah. This next episode is either going to have a few people probably unsub from us, or a few people subbed us because they love our honesty and everything. So we're here for
That
it.
or just drama.
Yeah, we're just drama. Sip
Just
the
drama.
tea. Pinkies high, bitches.
All the tea. All the tea.
Well,
Oh man. I thought I had something there. A little upset, but you know, it is what it is. That is
no.
that is the reason why we have these podcasts. So it's perfectly fine. I'm more upset at myself.
Damn.
Could you imagine, you know?
Yeah, that would have been absolutely wild.
Especially if you
Damn.
had missed it.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I mentioned already, it's kind of crazy how the whole Sarah J. Maas universe goes hand in hand. So once we do move over to the other books, it's going to be crazy how all of our questions are either going to be raised by other questions or some of our questions are going to be answered. We just don't know it yet. So people who have read the entire Sarah J. Maas universe are just like laughing at us, kind of sitting back like, oh, just wait.
I know, right? It's like, just you wait. Oh man. Well, I guess that's it. I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it, yeah?
Yeah.
We
Well,
only cried once this episode.
we did it. We did it. We
Now,
made it.
funny story for everyone watching, if you're still here, thank you for still being here.
Mhm.
When Aqua and I first read this book, there were so many tears. Oh my god, there
Oh
are so
yeah.
many tears. Like, I ended up calling him. Like, we were on the phone. We sat on the phone quiet for literally like 10 minutes because we were crying so hard that like words were not, like, I couldn't speak. I literally, like, words were not a thing. Like, I couldn't speak. It was just silent tears. You know what I mean?
I know. I remember that.
So,
It was intense. Very
and
intense.
I think I was like a chapter or two ahead of you, and I called you crying, and I was like, just wait. And I sat on the phone with you, I think, until you finished that chapter, and then all hell broke loose. And then we both were like, I told you specifically, I was like, I can't, like, this was when Risan died. I was like, I can't, like, I can't, I literally physically cannot pick up my book again. Like, I cannot do it. Like, I am so
No,
heartbroken.
you actually took a break.
And then I actually took a break. I didn't read it for another like 3 days afterwards. Like, I like legitimately did not finish this book until like 3 to 4 days later. Like, it was almost a week later I picked up the book again, finished the last like 5 chapters, and then moved on to the next book.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, I could not. I didn't even know he got resurrected or anything. As soon as it said and Reese was dead, I was like, I'm done. I cannot. Like, I already just lost my Suriel, and now I lost like my High Lord. I can't.
Oh no. I know. I had to like almost tell you. I had to like beg you to reread it.
And you
Or to
did.
continue it.
You
Yeah,
did,
I
actually.
actually begged her.
Oh. But yeah. I just fun story for everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I know we're a week behind. We did miss last week. This is actually the episode that was supposed to be uploaded last week. I am so sorry. Life just kind of
Life happens, guys.
life happened with both of us, and it was just nothing could have been done about it. So we are also recording this week's episode in a few days as well. So what we're gonna do is you will actually see this a week in advance because the other episode that we're doing, we won't be uploading that until next week. So it will be like you never missed an episode, but on the bright side for us, we're an episode ahead now. So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. I mean, that's all I have. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
Where is my dust court? I need my dust court.
Bro, where are like the cats? Like,
Where are the pets?
oh, it's fine, whatever.
You know,
No,
it's
no,
actually a pretty good idea.
Like, think about it though. It's fine, whatever. Anyway,
until next time, we're gonna have a whole rant. Don't worry about it.
Next time, it should technically only be a 30-minute podcast, but let's just be real. It's going to be like another hour and a half, 2 hours just because of our rants.
Mhm. Don't worry, we're gonna have 30 minutes of the book and the other 30 minutes about the pets.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and
Very
then
much.
give me like 10 or 15 minutes for both of our derailings. It'll be fine.
It'd be great.
Also, very side note, just non-book related. Did you know islands touch the bottom of the ocean?
Go home. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Did you know that?
I didn't need that right now.
I thought they floated on top of the water. I legitimately, I know I'm gonna get called dumb for that, but I thought they floated on top of the water. Like, I didn't know. So then how does that work? Like, if an island is a circle, does that mean there's like a whole, like, can you swim around the entire circle going all the way down to like whatever like depth?
I mean,
How does
you
that work?
could.
I mean, but how does that? So, but like, did you know that or?
No, not well. Okay, I knew that they touch the ground, obviously, because they come from the ground. The reason why it's called the island because the top of the landmass is surrounded by water.
Okay,
know,
but okay,
But as far as I know, no land just float without being connected to the ground because its mass would be too
what if
much.
it breaks off? What if it breaks off of the land, and then it starts growing
Well,
trees and stuff?
Well, that hasn't happened yet, but
How do we how do we know that hasn't happened yet? Whatever. Okay,
Well-
listen. Listen, we might have to have two podcasts, one about books and then one about everyday shit.
Geography? Yeah, just random shit.
On
Oh,
today's
God.
episode, islands.
Islands. Oh my god. This is great.
But yeah, as always, I am Elvish.
I am Aqua.
We need to bully Aqua down in the comments because we are in the artist world. You have to prepare months in advance, unfortunately. So we need to bully Aqua to get him to get a Halloween costume because I swear to the cauldron, if I show up on Halloween and I am the only person in costume, you're going to see an actual murder on YouTube.
Oh lord.
So please bully him in the comments. Thank you.
The best way to bully me is to send me donations, guys.
How much is it?
We're gonna say $100, cause that would be nice.
For an outfit? My outfit's like 50.
I like that Gucci and Prada. I'm just saying.
I am going to literally fight you. Anywho. All right. Well, I personally hope you guys have a wonderful night.
Likewise. Everyone have a good night.
We are almost finished with the Akatar series, and then I don't know. We might have a little. I don't know. Some scenery change, maybe.
Ooh. Who knows? Maybe.
I can't make my voice any higher. It's already too high. It just
I know,
turns into. It just turns into like it's already high enough. I can't do it.
I know. It's fine. Just imagine it going higher. They have imagination.
Okay, bye-bye. You're now stuck with all that information and weird information of knowing that we're dumb. Okay, bye.
Love you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.